Now we'll implement example programs on for loop. So usually for loop can be used to access the elements of the list data structure or tuple sets or dictionaries or string like this. Okay. And apart from this, we can also make use of range function to iterate through that particular range. Okay. So before going into the range function, let us take a sample list and iterate and display those elements of the list with the help of for loop. Okay, so let's start. So consider a sample list. A is the sample list I'm taking, and the elements are 10, 20, 50, 40, 30 like this. Now we can display this list directly by writing a print statement, print of A. We know we get the result like 10, 20, 50, 40, 30. So but we can also make use of for loop in order to iterate and obtain each and every element from the list. So for I in A, so for each element in list A, okay, so we are going to print the element I here. Okay, so each element we can print one by one, and you can see the result 10, 20, 50, 40, 30. This is the result. Okay, so very easy to iterate with the help of for loop and print all the elements inside the list or any other data structure. Okay, so this is one example. Now coming to another example, so I'll try to display the elements in the range, like for example, display from 1 to 100. Okay, so using for loop we'll display numbers from 1 to 100. Okay, so using range function we can iterate and display elements which are given in this range. So it's very simple. For I in range of, so we know, right, what is the starting range and what is the ending range. So if you want, I can write here start is equal to 1, okay, and end is equal to 100. Okay, so this is the range. Now we are going to iterate this variable I from start till end. Okay, so including end, that's why we have to write n plus 1, so that it is going to iterate up to less than n plus 1, which is nothing but end. Okay, so while printing, I'm going to print this I value, and later I'll take some space while printing. Okay, so let's run this code and see the result. You can see all the numbers from 1 to 100 are displayed using for loop here. Okay, now let us suppose if I want to display only odd numbers in the range. Okay, display odd numbers which are in the range 1 to 100. So how we can modify this code is you need to check whether the number is even or odd. If it is odd number, then only you are going to display. Okay, so if I mod 2 not equal to 0, okay, so in that case we can print the number, otherwise I'm not going to print that number. Okay, so you can see only the odd numbers gets printed. Okay, suppose if they're asking you to display odd numbers from 1 to 100 and then display even numbers from 200 to 300. Okay, so as we know, this code is already displaying all the odd numbers in the range of 1 to 100. Now we need to consider another loop to iterate and display the even numbers from 200 to 300. So for this purpose, I'll take start is equal to 200, end is equal to 300. Now I'll write the for loop for I in range of start comma n plus 1 similarly, but here the condition is we are trying to display the even numbers, so you need to check whether the number is even or not. If it is even, then only you have to display I mod 2 double equal to 0. So this is a condition for the even number, right? So we can check that condition. If that condition is true, then you can display that number which is as part of the even number, right? Okay. So I'll display this I value and run this code. You can see here 1 to 100. These are the odd numbers, and then from 200 to 300 these are the even numbers. Okay. So if you want, you can also write a print statement above each of this loop. Okay. Odd numbers in the range of 1 to 100 are like this. So similarly, after completing this loop, we can write even numbers in the range of 200 to 300. Okay. So let's run this code and see the result. This time clearly the group of odd numbers in the range of 1 to 100 are displayed here, and later even numbers in the range of 200 to 300 are displayed. Okay. So this is how you can iterate for loop. Okay. And now we'll take another example. Okay. So find factorial of a given number. Using for loop. Okay. So we are going to take factorial of a given number, and implementation must be done with the help of for loop. So let's take the number as input here. Int of input of enter any value. Okay. So after reading the value, now you need to iterate and find the factorial of the given number, right? So initially I am taking the result f is equal to 1. So n factorial means you can iterate and obtain like this: 1 into 2 into 3 into so on into n will give you the result of n factorial. So for this I'll write the for loop for I in range of 1 comma n plus 1 and find factorial. That is we can write f is equal to f into I. In each iteration I value gets incremented by 1. Okay. Finally, once you obtain the result, you can print the result saying that factorial of given number is. Okay. So what is the result of the factorial? F, right? So that result has to be displayed. So let's run this code and see the result. Enter any value. I am entering the input as 5. So corresponding result is factorial of the given number is 120. Okay. Like this.